What is the state police thing? Who wants it? Who doesn't want it?
There's this Amotekun in Southwest that seem to be effective. So people are like, okay, maybe that's a prototype to how state police will really help. The argument from people that favor state police, like me, is the fact that nobody can secure you than your people.
If you have a state police, it means you have brought police to the local level. Now, most likely, if there's a state job, you know that it is the people from that state that gets those jobs, which means they will know the terrain. They know, okay, this bush, I grew up in this bush, I know. So if there is any...
Ambiguous gave us a kind of key insight to the fact that we can't be waiting on the federal government. Their plan is a Nigerian plan, and then insecurity is sadly not very Nigerian. It is peculiar. Like when we talk about Southern Kaduna killings, we are talking about Southern Kaduna killings. When we are talking about...
And what do you think this is the source of that problem?
The early 2000s and fast forward to 2010, 2012, 2014, the level of courtesan, kidnappers in Rivers State was so rife that they were even writing letters to each house. We are coming to kidnap you. All the multinationals were leaving Rivers State. Now, the state government had nothing to do other than organizing their own security arm. They call it OSPAC. So after OSPAC was introduced, the level of kidnapping of all these multinationals.
Most states, they are still using paper to write the name of the inmate. They don't have pen to take proper stock of what cases they are working on and all of that. There's insufficiency of fund already in many states in Nigeria. And there are states like Lagos that are giving cars to strengthen the police. But the point is that how much is too much to spend on the security of life and property of people in a state?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elon Jobs, and today we want to talk about state police, whether it's essential to Nigeria or not. Is that what we want to talk about? Yes. And before you run away and say, oh no, this video is not for me, I want you to calm down and relax, because probably this is going to be one of the best and amazing videos you are going to watch on the internet today. And the reason I'm saying that is that this thing will affect all of us. So stay tuned. My name is Elon Jobs, and right on my left, I have one amazing guy that is very fast in politics. You know, he's also a fellow lawyer in equity like myself. His name is no other person than Josh Tracy. Josh Tracy, you are welcome to the mic.
Yeah, thank you.
The audience is very
My
happy
pleasure.
to meet you, and they want to know your opinion about the Nigeria and the state police thing. But before we go into that, let me introduce every other person. To my right, no other person than a senior. Which one are you, cutting or sick or Ankara?
Adire.
I have a senior Adire here because, you know, obviously we were on the level. You are in 200 level second semester also.
Yes.
Wow, interesting. You see, way ahead. Ahead. Oro day is it. So his name is what do you call you again?
I'm Bill.
Yeah, his name is Tracy ESQ. He's a senior Adire. Because, you know, SENs are senior sick, the learner sick. We are lawyers in equity. But from my far right is no other man than the man, the legend, the football enthusiast, the guy that loves to trade money in the market, but then the account will blow up. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, welcome to a political mind just like myself. This guy, I met him when we were, you know, those days when we used to argue politics up and down. I'm sure he's going to lecture us today about the police thing, whether it should be state, federal level, or we are okay as we have MPF. No other person, give it up for Dan Smith. Dan Smith, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm cool.
That guy has chopped at 7 rights. You see the way he's talking with confidence. And of course, the last but not the least, the most amazing, most remarkable that brought all of these setups together. You know, I'm already boring you with introduction, but then, no verse. John Wills, he knows nothing about policies. I'm sure he has nothing to say about the police. If just say, anyone that they want to do, they should do it. John Wills, is that your position tonight?
Let's wait and see.
No, you can go ahead and tell us. What's your position about the Nigeria? Should we move from MPF to, you know, OSF, or what do you call it now? Or which one we live in? You know, or your state police, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, Kwara State police, whatever. I think that is the nature in United States. They have NYPD, they have LYPD.
It's even lower than states.
Wow.
They have local sheriffs.
They have the next level below state, I think, is it district or
Yeah, district.
Yeah.
They have
So
districts.
they have,
Yeah.
Wow,
they have
interesting.
police
So,
departments.
what do you think?
Thank you very much for the introduction. I think it's a very important.
Please, when are you going to do the wedding?
Very soon, very soon. Very
Okay, so go ahead.
So I think it's a very important discussion to have at
Mm.
this point that Nigeria is.
Why the question I want you to quickly answer for me is that why are we having the discussion in the first place? Who wants, what is the state police thing? Who wants it? Who doesn't want it? I think you are the political mind. So give us that purview so that you can go ahead and give us the, what is the whole discussion about?
Okay.
Nigerian,
I think the discussion is more from people that favor restructuring versus people that don't favor restructuring.
okay.
So major advocate of restructuring believes that state policing is part of what we decentralize the current police structure that we have. Those that favor restructuring favor decentralization of power. And then they are seeing the fact that the president, for the first time, the president has given a nudge by giving local government autonomy.
Okay.
So very likely they are like, maybe this is the golden age for state police. Maybe it's the most disposed person to that. So it's more of a topic that is forefront now than ever. So I think that explains why it's more of a focal discussion. Apart from the insecurity.
So
that,
okay.
But then the
That's the question
insecurity
I'm about to ask.
has been
Why do we want to?
has been every now and then. And the fact that there's this Amotekun in Southwest that seems to be effective. So people are like, okay, maybe that's a prototype to how local state police will really help. There was a recent killing in Owo, in Ondo State, just was it 2022? And can you imagine, for the first time there was a bombing, it killed people, but they found the culprit, and all thanks to the state what we call Amotekun, they found them. So the people are like, oh, it's people. The argument from people that favor state police, like me, is the fact that nobody can secure you than your people. You understand? And then the other people are like, oh, well.
So you are a state police apologist?
I'm a state police apologist.
Interesting.
I favor restructuring and every majority of the issues. And then I will tell you about the issues I have with
back to you. What's your take on this whole thing? Where do you stand? Do you think it's a high time we talked about?
The reason why it is a discussion is because it's a dilemma, actually. So if you are arguing for state police, you have seen where you can see that it can be misused. For instance, in the case of what's the name of this governor of Benue, Otom, that is paid heavily. What is it? Security, this vote, and his state is not close to secure. Now, which shows that even with the fact that, okay, you have state police, you might still fall under a government that does not know how, that will be misusing it. Plus, I think the IG has come out to say that states are not ready to, they cannot afford the payments of police, like the salaries and all of that, the cost of it,
of running the police department.
Now, that aside, I think it is there are things that should be considered, really. But I also will lean towards the side of having a state police. And why is that? If you have a state police, it means you have brought police to the local level. Now, most likely, if there's a state job, we know that it is the people from that state that gets those jobs. Like if in a teaching service commission of a state, majority of people that will be in that commission will be from that state, which means they will know the terrain. They understand where, like you will say, like where they are having the pain, where the rib is paining them. So they understand the terrain of that location. They know, okay, this is this bush. I grew up in this bush. I know this. So if there is any,
so what you are saying is that having state police can help different states figure out, quickly identify and attend to their pain points.
Yes, exactly. It's because they are closer to it. They can see it. They know what is going on.
They are the grassroots. They can play along in
so,
the.
Unlike, it's a different ball game when you don't know about your area and you saw
But
somebody.
is that not the case with Nigerian police force that we currently have? If I'm stationed in Barapa, whatever, 7, Baraka 1, whatever, I know if Barapa 1 and co, that's why I'm there. Is there any Chibuwe?
No, they are transferred.
You are going to
post
be
their-
most likely posted to maybe east or south or north.
Why?
It's not like people from a place are posted to that area.
Right
That's
now.
why we have a lot of Yoruba people in the police force outside of Yoruba land. We have people.
Why is that the
We
case?
have Hausa people in Yoruba land as even DPOs and everything like that.
Why,
Because
why,
it's federal.
so why is it so? If that is the case, we can just talk about the fact that policies should be in their states. Should be more in their states than
But that will jeopardize the federal part of it, the federal point of it.
I don't think that jeopardizing the federal point of view. I just think it makes for effective policing of it.
We don't have the same number of police people in the police force from the same state.
Okay.
So there is going to be a lot of problems if we start creating a quota system based on people from each state working in. We are going to have that because the number of people from each state that are joining the police force, they are not necessarily even by the state.
But that, if you come to think of it, Kwara State has its own police. That
Department. Police. There's a way they call it command. Yes.
And then think about it like this: if currently enough Kwarans are not part of Nigerian police force, are we not going to have the same problem if we later have Kwara police department or something? Are we not going to have the same
I think the
problem
most
in the sense
the
that
thing is
if your concern is the fact that there's some Hausa we are going to join, the same thing will happen when we have the one that is actually controlled by Kwara State government or your state government. It's the people that are going to join.
Yeah, but those that have abundance of people will not suffer.
Those
As
that
a
have,
result of that, they have abundance of people that are willing to work in their police department. They
so
won't suffer.
they won't suffer.
Exactly.
But currently, what we are saying is that we are not sure everybody have enough police to manage
No,
their
I
state,
think-
or some states have too much surplus, they need to distribute it somewhere else.
no. I think it's
That-
like this. When he's in charge of the federal, there's what we call federal principle, federal character principle. In that, the federal does just cater for everybody. It doesn't care about the state you are from. So you can be transferred from here, even though you are from here, and transferred to another Yobe state. You understand? So that way the security of the state is deemed as not organic, not domestic. Since the people can just be transferred, and that's the job of the federal.
That's
So
how even federal schools work.
That's how federal schools work. So what people are like saying is that
So is that a strategy for federal to remain federal? Is that what you're saying?
yes, it's like just constitutional for federal to be, once it's as an exclusive list, it has to have federal outlook. Do you understand?
Yes.
But when it's like state, when it's for the state,
Is that if we had, there's one thing you guys will have to bite. You have to bite the bullet, the unlucky bullet, the unfortunate bullet that currently the police force is not effective per state. Are we agreeing on that?
yes, yeah, I believe.
Step one of the argument.
Yeah, right.
So step 2 is that you are suggesting that if they are going to be effective, they have to be the constituent unit, the people that are applying for a part of the force have to be indigenous.
Exactly.
So why don't we just apply the indigenosity into the quota and the transfer?
It will affect federal character
It's
principle.
no longer federal.
What do you mean it's no longer
And
federal?
I think another reason.
We are in a federation and the people that become governor in that federation are from the states.
Because that's why we have because when we have domesticated the governorship in that space,
Because we
which is the same
domesticated
thing we want to do with a police force.
For instance,
Okay.
wait. For instance, by the constitution, the governor is the chief executive of the state,
Exactly.
right? Now, the governor is not the chief security officer of the state in this regard. So that makes the governor and the state not regarded as far as the security architecture is concerned.
And what I'm now saying is that if you guys, the problem you are having is that the police force is not effective because it's federal and use federal character principles to distribute its forces. Why don't we just, tweak the federal character principles to say, okay, so that we can have effective policing. People that come for Kwara remain in Kwara so that you will be able to know your people and know your whatever better.
I believe it will
Why
not
is that
solve
not
the problem.
invisible? Yeah?
It will not solve the problem at all.
Why won't it?
So
That's what I want to
let's
hear.
say 50 people are the people that are in the Nigerian police force from Kwara State.
Mm-hmm.
We have 200 people from Sokoto State that are in the Nigerian police force.
Mm.
If we want to indigenize everything, we are going to have the problem of not enough participants or not enough personnel in each state.
So the states that we not have enough personnel in the first place, why is giving them their own police force a solution to them?
States that won't have enough personnel.
In the first place.
It does not mean they won't have personnel. It's not, you know that when we are talking about state police, we are not talking about bringing people from the federal Nigerian police force. This is a completely different.
I understand what you are saying. I'm just saying that if the problem we are trying to solve is the fact that indigenous police are not indigenous police, how can we? Since you are saying that now, the thing is, we cannot say that Kwara State will be able to produce enough security officers.
In the Nigerian police force precisely.
Yeah, in the Nigerian police officer. I'm not saying that won't that problem translate when you give Kwara State the ability to find their own security personnel. They are incapable of producing enough personnel. Is that not their problem in the first place?
I get
you get what I'm trying to say.
That is actually pointing out the generator problem or generator what have you. In that, okay, you change PACN or you call it, okay, stop calling it NEPA. You now say it will now be PACN, or when you say, okay, it's now Mecano. People can get their Mecano, they can get their better pass my neighbor. And then at the end of the day, are you not just going to constitute noise and nuisance to the entire side rather than solving the darkness problem? I think that's my
core contention is the fact that if we are saying the reason why we cannot indigenize, if there's any word like that, the current police force is because some states may have enough, others may not have enough. No, the state that cannot produce enough members of the Nigerian police force will not have the capacity to produce enough security personnel for itself.
Right, so I think the real reason why it won't work that way should be the fact that federal government is committed to federal character principle. That's why, and it will never change its outlook at that. That means no longer federal.
If the federal is now
federal and it's no longer federal. So that's why the government, the federal is not in the business.
No longer federal.
The federal
what
is
does
in
that
the,
change?
The federal is in the
give an example.
Equitable representation. The federal is in the business of equitable representation. That okay, the service chief or whatever it is must come from maybe the each.
Now we are going back and forth. We are having this rubber band problem.
Okay.
If we stretch this issue, right? If we stretch this issue, you discover that the federal posture is not solving any problem. So why are we keeping it? In this light.
So that's why people are saying that okay, let's remove it from exclusive list. Let's give it to what's that other one? Concurrent. Mm-hmm. So that the state can then do it on their own, in their own thing. Like this is like, so let me give you this instance, right? Let me give you this instance.
So what you are saying is that rather than the federal government domesticating the police force per state, the state should rather employ its own
the federal government.
But now we're having another problem, which is the problem of double jeopardy, which is you are going to be spending dual resources, duplication of function. That's what we call it. We are going to spend 2 resources. States will have to spend for the own police, and I'm not sure that the Nigerian police force, the federal unit, want to disband its own.
There's no. I think.
No. Let me give you the math. Let me give you the math. United Nations quota for security outfit is that 1 policeman should secure 400 citizens. Right now in Nigeria, we have 1:680 or something like that, or 640. You understand? 1 that much. So that means we are having insufficient number of police force. So if each state, let's say we have police force, for instance, you just say, let's employ more people. maybe that will solve the problem. Each state will employ according to its own capacity. Kwara State is having
And its own
insecurity issue. For instance, now over and over. Southern Kaduna is having it over and over. They should fix their security.
So if the federal government could not afford to even meet the UN quota, what do you call it? So why do we all of a sudden miraculously believe the state will be able to afford doing that?
I thank you for that question. I believe is a very valid argument. Of all the arguments against state police, that's even the concern of the IGP that you were saying earlier, that maybe we should have an hybrid system. The solution, that was what you were saying, that most states, they are still using paper. Even in Lagos, they are still using paper to write the name of the inmates and all of that. So the whole thing is not sufficient. Many of them, they don't have biro. They don't even have biro.
Pen.
You understand? They don't have pen. They don't have pen to take proper stock of what cases they are working on and all of that. That in fact they are easy to bribe and all that. There's insufficiency of fund already in many states in Nigeria. And there are states like Lagos that are doing what? They are giving cars to the state, to the police force, to strengthen the police force, that they are capable of it, they can afford it. So that's why you say they are like, okay, those are against state police or giving solid point against state police. I say we are not yet ripe for these things. But the point is that how much is too much really to spend on the security of life and property of people in a state? How much is really too much? How much is
because
really
what
too
we
much?
have with Amotekun
How much is
is
it?
region.
Maybe that means we are going to be using the fact that some states cannot afford to be jeopardizing states like Lagos.
that can afford it.
They are to be jeopardizing states like Ogun State or Oyo State that can afford it because there's one Anambra that cannot afford it.
There's one Bayelsa State.
Or because there's one Imo State that cannot afford it.
I think it makes decision more easier. Now, the federal government might have a focus on how they want to do their security this year. This is the plan, and the plan is not customized to any state. It's just customized to Nigeria as a whole. And a state like Kwara State that has an insecurity problem needs to be able to customize the security based on the current situation or issue that they have on ground. So I think it's one of the things. It gives more dynamism to policing, like more flexibility to security. The fact that federal government there's a way federal government does things, and then it is actually they have the whole Nigeria in context.
Yes.
In implementing some certain decision or how they go about the security thing. Unlike when it comes down to the state level, it is more customized to the situation and the current and the issues they have on ground. So that way, they will be able to tackle what is actually they are facing. If a state does not have much security issues, they might not need to spend that much as another state that is facing insecurity issue.
The Amotekun has given us a kind of key insight. Even though Amotekun is a lot like a regional police, a regional police.
Yeah.
In the Kwara State, those regions in Kwara State, they are not because
they are not part of the
help
region
them.
now. They are northern region. So the funny thing is that Amotekun gave us a kind of key insight to the fact that we can't rely on not that we can't rely, but we can't be waiting on the federal government. Their plan is a Nigerian plan. And then insecurity is sadly not very Nigerian.
It's peculiar.
It is peculiar. Like when we talk about Southern Kaduna killings, we are talking about Southern Kaduna killings. When we are talking about...
And what do you think is the source of that problem? What kind of problem do you think we are facing? And you think it's about, indigenous people being in indigenous places that is going to correct. Is it an indigenous people problem? Because how we take it if they are saying it is a out of reach problem, right? If you say, the problem here is the fact that we don't have access to command the resources as we want or as we deem fit, that's a different problem from the fact that, it's because indigenous people don't know indigenous things. If not, I would have said just indigenalize.
No. I think being about the indigenous person's part is a part of the reasons.
I think that's the icing and cake problem.
It's not really the
Because every cake is already sweet. You adding icing is just an
it's,
extra.
it's not really the core argument really about whether indigenous people securing indigenous.
So
But of course, that's what will happen. It comes with state policing.
Mhm.
Indigenous people of that state are the ones that will be policing the state.
Mm.
Funny enough, it's a very big states like Oyo State now. Somebody that grew up in McKinley, we end up policing Oyo. So that does not solve the problem
of that's some of the things that even somewhere in Kwara, so the case is more complicated. That's one of the things I'm trying to highlight for you. Okay. Because if you grow up in a place like Ofa, you are way different from people that grow up in some other part of Kwara, like you are that are more container from Fulanis and likes, Patugi, all these other places.
Kayama.
Kayama and Kwanko. They are more. That mix is
and
there.
you will be transferred to such places. You will be
Essentially.
such stuff to be happening.
So that's why I don't think I'm buying the indigenous argument thing. Because if it's about indigenous, I would have said Nigeria federal whatever doesn't have any problem to make most of the people that come from Kwara State to hold Kwara State police. That's command.
I see it less of indigenous, but more of the fact that specified, like custom.
Because at the end of the day, the reason why I'm saying this is that I have a case, which is the university case, right? At the end of the day, even a federal university makes more quota for people from that state.
No, that's not true.
It's funny how
University of
there's
Ibadan.
no-
That's true.
It might be true for Kwara, but I'm saying in Ibadan, that's not the case.
And that may not be the
And
case
then
for
even
Ibadan.
in Kwara, that's because Kwara is a what's it called? Less developed,
Yes.
educationally developed, IEDS.
IELDS.
That's because that's it.
So there's a reason. Now that we have a reason, which is that insecurity are everywhere,
No,
or
yes.
in certain, pay attention.
Sorry.
Since the same way that University of Ilorin is using that, University of Ibadan is not using this. The same way that Kwara Police Command can be using the quota thing if there is a problem of indigenousness. They can be using the same quota system to ensure that we have more indigenous people around that can police their place so that they can know it's better.
It's true. I agree that it's not really.
Since
I agree that the indigenous.
does that make University of Ilorin less of a federal institution?
No. I agree that
That's what I think. So I don't think it's just
So
maybe
okay,
an-
now let's see this, right? I think those things they are not true. We just think they are true. Now the first VC is from Ondo. The second one Kwara, next one Osun.
Is it for
I'm talking about Unilorin.
I think it's students you are talking about.
We are talking about. So I'm not talking about.
You said VC. I think
I'm not talking
you
about. I'm
said-
talking about VM students.
Okay.
I think so. If that sort of exception can be, available for how we recruit students, it can also be available for a federal Nigerian police force. That's whatever. That's
The situation of
what.
Nigerian police force, it will not solve the problem.
Now, you see,
like you pointed out, indigenousness is not really the core. reason why we need
that's just
state
part of it.
police.
One of the main reasons is that now we have
So
we have for
now
instance.
that we have established that Nigeria is a fickle thing.
Now
Let's establish. Why do you think
we have
indigenous police?
they have insecurity in Kaduna State for a long time and all of that. They have insecurity there, and the governor is saying, "I don't have power. My hands are tied." So governor will bring in investors to the state, will bring in whatever to the, and then he cannot control the
And he has
security. He has no real say.
He cannot
Constitutional
protect the
say.
things that is building.
And we
You
have
cannot
a
protect it.
federal system.
And we have a federal system. Okay, we are saying
Now you are
we are
talking
saying
because if I'm a judge and you are making this the first argument of it, I will throw you your case out.
no,
of
those are
out
like
out of
the
my
points
thoughts.
that they've said. I'm just these are what I think are like the solid argument for police, state police. In that, okay, so
I'm
when
sure-
you cannot protect
Before you proceed, I'm sure that most northern universities will also be playing the same card, which is to recruit more people from Kano to their
because
university.
education
More. So since we already have that, even in federal
Those
institutions, those compromises, why can't we have it in Nigeria police? I just want everybody out there that is thinking about the indigenous to understand how the whole argument can be a whole bullock. If really we have an indigenous problem, we just look at the Nigerian police force and look at all those places that actually need an indigenous police, and then make quotas and that will make it that majority of it. Not one guy that doesn't understand his language, that doesn't know where to look, that will be in those places. In fact, we can make it so indigenous that the people for the police officer will come from afar. If that's what you really want. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So I think that's not the case. Because I don't think the people that are really advocating is about the fact that there are people are not in police force. They do have. There are people in police force.
So they have the financial, they come up with financial strategy for the state. They come up with, the political strategy for the state. And but they can't maintain peace.
They even draw the investors in. They cannot even now they can't secure the investors or the investment. Or
they can't, how do you really convince people? Because now when you have an opposition, even in the federal, it's not even a bigger problem for you. You understand?
Yes.
It's not even a bigger problem for you to communicate with the federal. And then, of course, there's NEC. Some people argue that there's Federal Executive Council where everybody can talk. But you can say that when in Lagos,
I think and that's what I call the school hosted disadvantage. In school hosted, even in private university, you pay expensively to part of whatever, but you cannot customize it that much. You can't do much. You can't repaint. You can't do this. You can't even choose your roommates most time. Maybe in my school you can make arrangement for that, but in most cases you can't even choose your roommate. You can't do that. And then they expect you to be in care of the room they give to you
and be worthy of learning and character at the same time.
And they will give you some nuisance that they don't have exam the same time you are having exam and they will make noise. It's one of the problems I faced when I was an investor with learning, and I have this.
People that you are not.
Your department does not. You guys don't do the same paper. You don't. They will make noise when you need to study for exam or test or something.
I think it's part of why College of Medicine usually move out of the school at the end of the day.
Because they are not the same. They don't run the same calendar.
Yeah.
So okay. So then people will be like, okay, wait. Kaduna needs its own security outfit for me to be able to do this. But then people that argue against it will be like, nigga, you are collecting this huge security vote. So what exactly are you doing with those funds? Those are the questions. You are giving me security vote without giving me security power. What do you expect from me? So they are not accountable for, the governors are not accountable for security. My hands are tied. There's nothing I can do about it. That's what the governors keep saying. So people are not, instead of we still getting the same nonsense over. Let's kukuma, before there was the security and the electricity was not vested with states. Yeah. You understand? The Tinubu wanted to ensure Lagos State was having its own 24 hours electricity supply. Then, in fact, they even brought in some private investors for light and all of that. That's even part of why Lagos State power is largely better than most other states. But federal government frustrated you because it's just an exclusive list. It's just like you are trying to run your own parallel government. When you try to be creative with investors or whatever for things that are exclusively for the federal government. And that's because there's no political will to support them to have it done, because the federal is PDP, the state is AD or AC at whatever time. So they didn't agree all through the time. We tell the state fund, the local government fund, because they wanted to create LGA. When the state believed that if they have local council development area, they will be able to thrive and all of that. So it's about, okay, if we say these people are really chief executive officer of the state, maybe we should make it a statutory thing that control the security of your people, so that you won't give us an excuse. So I think it's a leadership
and
thing.
Then I think since the Nigeria police force will continue to exist, state that can afford it. So all the people that are arguing about affordability, state that can afford it can go ahead and
exactly.
And none that can afford
that cannot afford.
But that will create the salad problem, which I believe salad problem is this thing where you don't know what the salad is. Everybody say this is salad. Once you mix 2 fruit and 3 fruit together, it's salad.
It doesn't have bama. It doesn't have enough bama.
It doesn't have. When you see one with two, they say it's a salad. Yeah. When you see somebody that has one gari with they say it's a salad. Yeah. Everybody will be creating salad, their own salad, which will be a problem. In and of itself, like.
True.
People will keep saying that they still don't have effective police force because of X, Y, Z or whatever. When they have it all that, they are
so now that's why I like the conclusion of the current president when he was talking about state police. He said they will really consider the state police thing. He said he's predisposed to state police. Why? Because every other disadvantage that people talk about and they can be surmounted. Okay, is it fund? Okay, state that have funds should have their own. We should just give them. Okay,
Everybody should make their
open source.
salad. Yeah, of
Make
course, huh?
your salad.
Salad.
If it's prettier than, if it's better than the other.
US, all those county. I mean, I don't know if it's county or district. I should know that there's a level of government, like our own local government equivalent, that have police department. They have better
Police
ones than the
department
other.
is district.
They have
There's a
better ones than the other.
there's a
The New York
particular
police is probably better than
Yeah, it's one of
Los
the best.
Angeles police
there's
department.
a district
So-
in US that have bigger budget than Nigeria, in New York
in New York.
or California, one of those states.
No,
That-
New York.
Is it New York?
It's New York.
They have
New
bigger
York
budget
in New
than
York
Nigeria.
State.
New York,
New York
city,
State. In the city. Yeah.
than Nigeria
Their
as
budget
a
is
whole.
bigger than the whole of
You understand? So why then, if they can really afford it and all of that, the economy that they need to protect there is really very important. It's more strategic. Why not? You understand? Why not? So those are.
Everybody should make their salad and let us move.
So, but the challenge is now that I don't know if you don't want to say something. But the challenge now is that they use it for thuggery. You know what state police are doing already?
All
That
governors are
governors are
capable
capable.
That one is not.
That one is not what the excuse that the governors are giving us to protect their people. They know when to use it for their own advantage,
Exactly.
right? Even with the current structure. But they give us excuse when it comes to delivering security of
Exactly.
lives and property.
Yeah.
So let's just let's follow them to the gutter. I think that's the argument that I like about this state police thing.
Yes.
Let's follow them to the gutter.
Thank you very much. I've been thinking this morning that okay, because I have an argument I wanted to say to the house and we discuss about it. But as the podcast proceeded, everyone was just cancelling each other. Then this because the point of this, every state should make their own salad.
Exactly.
Make their own salad. Then and I remember what happened in Port Harcourt. Like if you grow up in River State like I do, you understand the need for every state to have their own salad, right? You know, the early 2000s and fast forward to 2010, 2012, 2014, the level of courtesan, the level of kidnappers in River State as a whole was so rife that they were even writing letters to each house that we are coming to kidnap you next week. We are coming to kidnap you next, and they will come, and nothing happened. So they wrote a letter to one chief in our community, then Chief Jefta. They said, we are coming to kidnap you on Sunday. Prepare yourself, prepare everything, we are coming for you. And before you know it, they said if you try to escape, if we catch you, we kill you. That was the message. So somehow Chief Jefta escaped on Friday, preceding to that Sunday, he escaped, and all the multinationals were leaving River State at that point. They were moving down to Lagos. Now, the state government had nothing to do other than organizing their own security arm of River State. They call it OSPAC. Then I was even surprised to find out that OSPAC is still functioning today in River State. So after OSPAC was introduced, the level of kidnapping of all these multinationals went down drastically.
Like JTF and Co.
In Borno.
So now drastically, and same thing is happening in the southwestern state now. These are Motekun.
I think Operation Boss was something at this one. Is it your city? Operation Boss, yeah.
Okay, I think so. Yes.
It's still
Because
right now.
crime
It's still there.
and-
That one
Operation Boss.
you know Operation Boss that went to destroy one building that they believe maybe they are using for hideout in Ibadan. Around that,
This in
you are going to gate side. They
Mhm.
believe so. They were. I think
But-
Operation
but-
is
but
there is
those
a
are-
Motekun that is
those are-
working.
Those are custom use of Nigeria police force.
And they're just trying to like
I don't
in
think
parallel.
they do state by state.
Yeah,
No, they are not. They don't
They are
have
not
maybe
Nigerian
ammunition.
Operation
they have
Boss, I
limits.
think
They
Operation
have
Boss
limits. They have certain limits.
no.
I think Operation Boss are police.
They are
I think they
police.
are
Okay, there's a division of
That is
that one is division of.
They
That's
are like
police.
division to attend to certain.
Okay, I thought we were talking about Motekun. Motekun is not.
Maybe it's just
it's
the
not-
commander.
they are not affiliated with
but
Nigerian police. at
I
all.
understand.
Most of the people that work there are retired military people. Self.
They have
Stuff
license
like that.
already.
So they are the ones that work at that are part of their Motekun and
So-
security people generally.
So I think each state should be able to galvanize their own security arm and try to secure their state. There's something going on in Delta State, and Delta Edo State and Bayelsa, where kidnappers are kidnapping people on a daily basis. So these people like this guy, Harrison Gwamishu, I don't know if you know that guy.
Help me with that because
So Harrison is organizing some security guys, personal security guys, to imagine going to that bushes to be chasing those kidnappers. Something the police won't do on a normal day. So I think it's quite important for each state to be able to. And as a matter of fact, what's the uses? All these guys, what are they using the security votes to do?
You didn't empower them.
Nobody.
I don't know.
I don't that fact that I don't empower them. People are using it for JTF. People are using it for whatever they are using for. So those security like that are like vigilante groups.
So can I just say this, right? At the end of the day, see, I believe state police will expose our real problem.
Exactly.
Because some states, I don't know, what they believe is very more important is different from each other. For instance, in Kano and the rest, is this bar? The one that will be going to all these hotels, that will be catching people that are drinking or that are sleeping each other's wife. That's more of their own concern than the ones that are in what's it called? That are Amotekun. It's different by region. Their cultures are different. So I think when we have state police, that's when we now really see that all these excuses that people are already under one finger, there won't be that one finger to hide on than for you to deliver.
So why do you think the federal government before now is not predisposed to allowing such activity? Right? You know,
why they are not? And of course, it's less power for the federal. So if you don't have a person that was on the other side before, that is not there, that now has both view, I still believe that we should go ahead with the state police.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we have something like that, just like we have currently, we don't stand a chance.
I think it plays a huge influence in politics, because you hear things like he has federal power, that's why he won the state election, all of that. Because and majorly it's because of these security personnel that can be used.
But now look at it, right? They look at it. Even Wike,
but
Wike
even
is
during
a
the election,
PDP.
let's be clear about something. At the end of the day, whether they have state police or not, during election, the federal is still in charge.
During
election,
no, for
federal
military,
should be in
for
charge.
military, for deployment of military is in severe.
No, I'm talking about in deployment of Nigeria police force, because Nigeria police force will continue to exist, and I'm sure it's Nigeria police that will secure.
No. You know,
Election.
in local government.
That's the federal police.
You know, local government is what's it called?
Homeland security too.
In local government is state exec. No, this is another issue people have against state police. That every election, local government elections, most governors conduct. It is their party that will sweep every seat. Yeah. So people are like, there's no democracy at local government level in recent. So people are not saying the same governors are ensuring that China then go they committed to ensuring fair use of security outfits at their disposal.
But this is what I'm talking about. During election, I don't think MPF will be outside out of monitoring.
No, they will still. They are the ones that will monitor the election.
No. When calm down. When the state police, how will it happen? That will be part of how we do. It depends on how we codify our law and code. How the jurisdictions are met out. That's what we did.
But in US, whenever the federal police steps anywhere, they tell these people to stand down. The state, the local police to stand down. Sure. You stand down.
So that's more reason why all this fear that state police, the governor will misuse, we do this, we do that.
They are still beneath the federal police.
Exactly, at the end of the day.
They are still below just like the same way a governor is below the
president.
The state police are still below the federal police.
People are saying that, okay, you say you want to come and declare state of emergency in a state because the governor is not managing the security. Why? Because the governor is not managing the security situation well. When you didn't empower the governor to do it,
how can the governor
so I really want us to take off that one finger.
I like the question about the fact that why has it always been that way. I feel like it is rooted in our constitution.
No, why they are not predisposed?
That's what I'm saying. It has been rooted in our constitution. Nigeria is built since 1999 at least. I think before too, but since 1999 at least, to be our constitution is a federal constitution that is heavy at the top. It's not, if you look at the exclusive list, you compare it with the you see that many things need to come down.
we are coming from a military.
Exactly. So we
And-
still have those
and
Control
even,
tendencies.
from-
and even the military itself.
It's not like in Nigerian federalism is such a weird one. It's not really coming from this independent states coming together.
Exactly. It's not your usual federalism.
Yeah, it's not like independent.
And
states
even
together
when
to
we
make it
had
federal.
the regionalism, say the first state, our first taste at military was going Rossi unitarializing everything.
Yeah.
So you see, even right now, people will prefer to blame President Bola Ahmed Tinubu
and
for
I think
gutter
and I think if
and
we,
inroad.
if we want to be
problem.
honest here, before we started this podcast, I remember someone was arguing that we don't need universal state. I think it's a Nigerian thing. It's like in our blood to want to control vast array of land, to want to be in charge of
Yes.
of as large as possible. I know people here that are of the opinion that Ibadan say will be useless. You know, it's like we are letting go all this other part that's supposed to be under your, under your unity and which I know is not because you actually love, it's because you have more resources to control. So essentially, I feel that's the problem we're having. It's fact that it feels like the whole thing be like they want to take power off the federal.
President, for instance, during Obasanjo's regime, you know how many governors he ensured that, apart from state of emergency, he ensured that the House of Rep, the State Assembly removed. Ladoja, our current Olubadan, that he removed. There are many people like that. Do you get? That he ensured Joshua Dariye, he removed the guy. Fayose, he removed. So that one is one you are saying that he will be committed to ensuring that there's the evolution of power. So it's only those that are even romancing the idea that, local government should get the funds, right? And then you see Bakide saying that, no, you cannot have that local government is two tier. It's two tier.
Federalism is correct.
No, I'm not saying it's not correct. We know that
but it's very,
bro
very-
is capping. So it's only if you are predisposed to that idea that maybe you've really seen that when you devolve it, you will be able to control the state longer. Maybe you see a bigger picture, just like Lagos State is peculiar now. They have 50-something those LCDAs that are loyal to ensuring that APC Tinubu structure remains returning every now and then. So that means you have another gameplay. You believe you'll be able to develop it more instructions for you to be able to stay more in power.
If there is more powerful state.
Mm-hmm.
Because people that like restructuring have got into power and we see that they like
Nothing.
work power. Like Buhari.
People in the Paris is not a restructuring
was
firm.
pro-restructuring.
No, APC was pro restructuring because they want to take power from PDP.
No Buhari.
And if you see, it's not Tinubu's people that wrote the APC manifesto. So
Wow.
And then at that time, APC was not controlling federal.
APC was not controlling. People that are not there, they want restructuring. But when they get there,
local government chairmans, we want
exactly.
So
So you want to woo them, and then you say you will do it. I am sure Buhari must have mentioned restructuring.
But the governors that get to power, we say no, he knows better.
Exactly.
Imagine something as basic as electricity. Let states handle their electricity. If una don craze, make we know.
The first state bond in Nigeria, like we don't have money, let's issue out bond, let people loan us money, and then they will get 10%, 20%, and then we won't default, so that we can build capital project. It was done in Lagos State by Tinubu, and it was not like clear that for you to be able to do that, they did it against wish of the federal.
The wish of the constitution.
The constitution.
Because
you
we
understand?
not say federal, because the constitution was what created the federal government.
Federal government. They did it against it. But now, even Lagos have more early repayment history than any other, even than the country.
That's
Funny
interesting.
enough. Even currently, the president, he has soft pedal on the local government thing. Low-key. No, like they're not hard on. Of course, they are disbursing to the local government, but all this way government is controlling. It's not let the election come first. Then you know that it must happen, because it will be like governors are getting more money already. Let the local government get this. Let them attend to local matters.
And if local government does not
Now
attend to
see
local
tax, see
matters,
tax issues, see tax.
if local government are not attending to local matters, we keep having the same problem.
That's why Lagos State they are able to build big health centers.
As primary, that are
As
primary health centers.
primary health center.
Primary health centers, e big pass another states. A
See
general hospital.
they are building model schools.
Exactly.
So essentially, I think we have come to a point where we are clear on what we should do, which is everybody should breed their salad and mix it anywhere out there. Whether you have fun, you are lack of fun, you don't have fun. Whether you need to go and borrow outside people to be part of your own police force in case you don't have people indigenously or whatever the case may be. So build your own police force. I think I will put, but then the case for the fact that people at the federal always love to work power is a very serious thing, and I hope that under the very sensible, very knowledgeable, very amicable, very amazing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that we have right now, we are going to, if not in this first time, in the second time, we are going to be able to secure the state police thing so that everybody can be able to police their jurisdiction and be able to be in proper control of their resources, and so they can secure the investors, they can secure the investment, they can secure the returns. I think that's it on Rational Dialogue today. I think you can see that we did justice, we argue, we debated, and we try to bring all of the argument to the bare front. And with that, I remain on jobs, a lawyer in equity, and you have heard from all of my colleagues, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you.